Hey everybody, I'm Joey Ladle Jr.
And I'm Cheeks.
And we're here to talk to you today about Endgame's Avengers.
What a movie!
That was a killer movie. I
Opening
loved
weekend.
It. Yeah, it was unbelievable, breaking tons of records.
And we were there. We were at the theaters on Friday.
Hey, we're here at Imagine Cinemas.
Hey everybody, I'm Joey Ladle Jr.
And I'm Cheeks, and we're talking today, Endgame Avengers. Today, we are here Friday, and we're getting in on it. We can't wait.
No, we're here. We're waiting to see this new Avengers movie. We are really excited to see this thing. All the hype has been out there. And not just that, we don't even know what ending they actually chose because they did film 5 different endings.
Yeah,
for this
Joey
thing.
was mentioning some things. I said, don't say anything. Oh my God.
So
someone may die? No way.
It is kind of really cool. We don't know which ending they're going to actually choose. Possibly I do know, but I'm not saying anything. So today we're actually here doing the matinee before anybody else.
Just for you guys.
So we want to really see it, and then we're going to come out with a video and let you know what we did. And we'll tell you people, spoilers will be in our next video.
Yeah,
so,
well, looking forward to it. Opening day, we're here, Avengers. Yeah.
All right.
Report back later, people. Live life loud. Cheers. Cheeks out.
I'm Joey Ladle Jr.
Went to see a matinee movie.
A matinee just to get into this movie.
Before a lot of people actually got to see it, in the evening. So we got to see a special viewing, if you want to say.
And 3 hours, 2 minutes.
That was with the end credits, right?
It broke many records.
Yeah, I know. It was
Right?
killer. It was killer. Yeah, it's
Now-
climbing the charts.
The biggest fun fact of all.
What's that?
The highest grossing opening ever.
I'm gonna guess at $1 billion. $1 billion.
1.2 billion. That's crazy. 1.2 billion.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we would not think it was going to be
nuts.
that crazy opening weekend. That's crazy. 1.2 billion.
All right, so
shatters records.
look at it this way. I like the fact that Captain Marvel came out just before this, and they had 2 Marvel movies within a month. A lot of people didn't think Captain Marvel was gonna do that well in theaters, and already she's at 24 spot at over $1 billion, and that was crazy, right? Like people did not
And
even.
she hasn't
think
even
of it
finished
anywhere.
her run, probably.
No, oh no, absolutely. But you know what? Before she even filmed that movie, she filmed Avengers Endgame and then read the script for Captain Marvel. A lot of people don't know that.
We thought it would be the other way.
No.
No, well, you thought she was hot.
I like Brie Larson. Brie Larson she's cool on my books. I like her. We were told that there's 5 different endings to this movie, and so that way nobody could actually spoil the movie before it actually came out. So all 5 endings were filmed, all 5 endings were done up, but nobody knew which one was edited. When you signed that confidentiality agreement,
Yeah, for sure.
and being a big actor like they
Well,
are,
we wanted a secret.
you don't want to go
don't
up
want a
against
spoiler.
like $1 billion, billions of dollars company, right? So, yeah.
I thought it was a little slower than the last movie. And your thoughts?
Last movie was a lot more action.
That's pretty much
Absolutely,
it.
I think so. I think this movie, it took a while to build up.
Sure.
And that being said, it was a lot of going back, seeing who was still alive, going back to seeing how they were adjusting to everybody vanishing, and how time had perceived gone forward. And I'm sure a lot of people out there know because of all the spoilers that have been, the trailers that have been out there. And in the one trailer, it showed Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, coming and knocking on the door. But meanwhile, in the last Avengers, he did vanish. Like, he was one of the people that, evaporated. So we know that he went back in time or forward in time to warn them. So now he came forward in time, but on a different timeline. So it's really, you have to really think about a lot of these things because 5 years had passed, right? For a lot of people, some people don't remember, but most of them do remember. So that being said, they were alive for those 5 years that they were vanished and they remember everything. However, the timeline was different.
See what I mean? He already confused me.
I know, it is confusing, right?
For most Avengers fans or comic book fans or genres of these type of movies, if some people know what's happening and are really in tune with it, like Joey, and
Yes and
others
no.
just want to see what's happening with the action, and it can be confusing.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is a good thing for the series, is because it's so in depth.
Yeah, I like that it is a bit confusing, because for them just to come out with Captain Marvel just before this
And just say,
and really
Clean up.
she doesn't really she doesn't really belong in the chapter
nobody
just
knows who she
before
is.
Avengers, right? The final Avengers Endgame, because really if you go chronologically in order, she should be somewhere between Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, and and possibly Captain America.
well, good luck
3.
figuring out that timeline.
But she should be, and that way she's already introduced, because in Captain Marvel, it introduces Shield.
It shows
to
how
the
it
world.
started, the
Right.
background.
Yeah, absolutely,
He
because
just
it goes
didn't
back
apply for the FBI, and he got in because he failed his test, but he knew somebody.
Well, no, Captain Marvel goes back in time to the 80s.
Yeah,
Which was
the
awesome.
80s. That
We
was
love
cool.
that.
That was fun.
That was the thing I loved
Blockbuster.
about that. Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
I did love that. At Blockbuster, she falls through the Blockbuster video store. You ask a lot of kids nowadays what's a Blockbuster, they have no idea what Blockbuster is.
It's
they
like
think it's a
Netflix
Blockbuster
store.
movie. It's like a
A
movie. It's a
retro
Blockbuster.
Netflix store.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So seeing that actually brought back a lot of good memories. Those Friday nights, what are you going to do? You go with your girlfriend to the
Rent a
video
movie,
store.
go to the store, pick
Yeah.
up some junk food.
It was awesome, right? Those were good
Sit
times.
in a dingy
Now,
room and
what
watch
do?
the TV
You're sitting
and
at
watch a
home,
movie.
You say to your girlfriend or your wife or whatever.
Your wife or whoever.
Your girlfriend or your wife or your friends. What are we gonna do on a Friday night? And then let's watch a movie. Oh, okay. Let me just click on this. Oh, we'll go on Netflix, or we'll just buy a movie just like that. Click,
Well, on the
click,
TV
right?
guide, there's only one movie tonight. So
But when we were growing up, there was none of this click, click, click. You didn't know
You
what
had
was
to go
actually
find
out there.
it.
You go to
or
the
you
video
called
store.
someone and said, "Do you have any movies?"
It was so cool, right? And it was actually getting out of the house. You're doing a little bit more exercise. You're walking up and down the aisles. It's like, oh, you want to watch this movie? Oh, no, you want to watch this movie? You want to watch this movie? And it was fun, right? So, I mean, let's get back to the Endgame. We were getting off topic
Yeah,
there,
we're having
right?
too much fun here.
Yeah. So, Endgame.
So Captain Marvel, she pretty much showed her dominance at the beginning of the movie, and all the other characters were kind of like, "Who's this?"
Yeah. At the end of Avengers Infinity Wars, they introduced that Captain Marvel was going to be coming into the last Avengers Endgame.
So how was this the best
Best?
Avengers? Obviously, it wasn't, because it was.
There was a lot of ups and
It's a
downs.
storytelling
It was
in a way.
It was a lot of storytelling. There was a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of, who's going to die? Is this true? Is this not going to be true? You hear a lot of rumors building up to this thing, right?
We're
You
always
don't know-
worried who's going to die.
Yeah, and you were. And then when something
We're not gonna
did
tell
happen,
you.
it was sad. I got this close to crying, actually, in the movie. I was
Yeah,
pretty
there was
upset.
some emotional parts for sure. 'cause
There was a lot of emotional parts.
I think what is good about this movie is that because it took some time, it built on the characters.
Well, how many movies are there? 22?
There's 22 for the
22
Marvel, kind of
yeah,
franchise.
right.
But for this movie, the storytelling, actually, the characters,
They grow
they're
on
bonded
you.
a lot.
Absolutely, you grow.
And
They grow with you.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing. You really loved the guys. We
Yeah.
loved the characters.
Sure.
And you were enthralled to learn more of how they actually going to do this.
Well, I think that whoever did the casting for this entire thing, from the beginning of Iron Man, first Iron Man, right? Iron Man #1.
Crazy.
They already envisioned all the way out to
And how do you do
Avengers Endgame. They already knew which movies were going to come out, how and when and what. But they didn't, have them written out, but they already knew what way they wanted to work it. And it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant because from the beginning of Iron Man, it tells you the story of what's actually going to happen in Endgame. Because Iron Man from the beginning has a lot to do right through everything to Captain America, through the Avengers originally,
Yeah.
all the way to this, and it has a huge.
You
huge
pick up
thing.
on little points from all those movies because they go back here and there and just pick up on them.
Yeah, and there was a
And
spoiler too.
you enjoy those characters that much more.
There was a spoiler. I'm not going to say who, what, where, but there was a spoiler. And remember, I told you what happened on that poster and it came true, and that person had vanished. Like, is no more.
Well, we
in the
kind of
Avengers.
expected someone had to go.
There were.
It's always a war.
We expected there was. I expected at least 5 people to
Right.
have died and is out. But also, what we heard was that contracts were not renewed. Actors didn't want to come back. So what's going to make it interesting is to see how they're going to carry this on. They can't really do a prequels to them now because Avengers started way after when they were older. So that's out. For me, at least that's out. I can't see that happening. I can see them maybe going what you were saying.
But we're going to get
me.
back to that about maybe what to expect in the future of the Avengers.
All right, we'll see that one.
What characters did you like in this movie that kind of blossomed?
First, I thought we'd see a lot more of Captain Marvel, but which we didn't.
No,
right?
that was weird.
I know. I thought
She came
but-
and went here and there, but she wasn't really
and that explains why they filmed this before they filmed.
because they
Captain
didn't really
Marvel.
know. Maybe
They didn't have to.
They didn't have much to go talk
right.
about.
But she was a big part of this. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She was a big part of this.
She was
Other
almost like the
characters-
Superman of
I've always loved.
the
I've always
movies.
loved Chris Evans as Captain America,
yeah.
and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. And, come on,
Oh yeah,
Thor was hilarious
Without
in this.
Chris Hemsworth for Thor, this wouldn't have been it.
This,
Same as
this movie is hilarious with him. The way that they portray
Yeah.
him in this movie is
it's
so
like they're all
funny.
buddies and they're like real people.
Well, from
they can
Thor
be
3
susceptible to gaming and stuff. It was
Well, do
crazy,
you
the
remember-
gaming part.
Well, do you remember Thor 3, Ragnarok?
Yeah.
When Thor was, he was on the other planet, he was fighting the Hulk, and he met the rock guy and the little, I don't know, like bug dude, and they're,
Yeah.
you know, they had to fight,
Yeah.
right? And they became friends, and then they're actually in this too, being his friend, which was really neat, and I loved it. At the end of the last movie, Asgard had exploded, and Loki had died before he snapped his fingers, so we knew that Loki was not going to be coming back. There's no way
Yeah.
he can come back. So whoever got the glove was going to snap their fingers, and whoever had actually gotten the glove and snapped their fingers is the person that I actually admired the most in this movie. Got me mad at the beginning because he was not being a team player.
Well, the humor, which was so nice about this movie, because they're all like buddies, and they really look out for each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And there was a part with Thor, which I loved, when he was down and out and didn't care about nothing, and he was drinking. He was playing games, and he didn't care, and he had thing was funny.
Oh, come
the
on,
way
you're
he
giving
looked.
that away, man.
Oh, well,
that's a spoiler.
it's not a spoiler.
Spoiler alert. That is
We
a
don't
spoiler.
tell you what happens.
No, but that's a spoiler alert. That's
But
huge.
that's why I
spoiler.
like Thor in the movie, because he was like a normal person,
Right, but
and it was fun.
But we all know that there's time travel in this. Everybody knew that there was time travel in this. Before the movie even came out, we all knew that time travel was going to be in this.
Well, we
because
thought
of
it because they had to go back to fix it.
Well, we knew.
From the last movie.
we knew that it was going to be because that trailer that came out with Mark Rudd.
And we saw Ant-Man.
Right, at the front
Ant-Man
gate.
was the trigger to that.
So we all knew that at that point that time travel was going to be in this movie. That being said, when people had gone back in time to certain times
Mm-hmm.
that they had to go to, all of them almost screwed up. If not, some of them
Never
had
goes
screwed up.
perfect.
And they wanted to do it because they thought they knew the plan, but what happens?
And they thought they had it down packed.
Something else happens. And as they say, the paradox, time paradox,
Yeah.
you can never predict what's going to happen in the future. So if you go back at a certain time, that's going to change everything. Everything's
You could
gonna
have 3
change.
arms.
Well, it's just because you don't interact with yourself,
Yeah.
but the people that you are interacting could not interact with you the way that it originally did, right? So that changes the whole loop. So it was really neat. And how do you get back to your own time now without changing the future? But what I liked a lot was it didn't go perfect, like you said. A lot of them screwed up. Almost every single one of them saw something that either they loved a lot or they had to go back to a certain time that really meant a lot to them. And as much as they wanted to get involved in it, they couldn't, but they did, which
Well-
messed things up even more.
Well, going back to people and the characters that really you liked in this movie, mine was obviously Thor and the raccoon, because of the comedy.
Rocket's
Rocket.
always cool.
That was funny. And the coolest guy who was kind of freaky is Thanos.
Thanos was
He is
James
freaky
Brolin-
guy.
James
Huge.
Brolin,
And that
great
face
actor.
of his.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Oh
to
my
start off
God.
with.
He make the, if you see him in this movie, you're just like, that guy looks like that. It's like so cool.
Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, it started going off well, right? And it was going good, and then a big thing happened, which we thought would end the whole movie, but it happened so fast within like 20 minutes, so they can't end the. I was wondering how the heck are they going to stretch the whole movie now out, but they did.
With the time
Right?
travel stuff.
Right, and I'm not going to say what, but they found Thanos and in the glove and this and that, and they only found him because he activated the glove a second time. What for? We don't. I'm not going to tell you what for. I know. He knows. I'm not going to say. I don't want to spoil that for people. But Thanos was living by himself on a planet all by himself.
And
with
it was
nobody.
like the
And we knew
Yoda,
that.
the Luke kind of feeling.
Right.
eh?
Absolutely.
He's just trying to enjoy their life.
That's
all
right.
these guys and these characters almost seem like they're going to move on in life. They've kind of like said, okay, this is it. They accepted it, and they just want to live their normal life, which was cool. Like Thor when he did.
A lot
his.
of them did.
Yeah, even Iron Man. But that's what was cool about the movie is that they thought for themselves there's nothing maybe is going to happen, and a lot of them felt down, but Captain America keeps it going. He really believed.
Do you remember how the actual movie began? Do you remember the very, very beginning of the movie?
The very beginning?
Yeah.
You're putting me on a spot now.
I am putting you on the spot right now. So the movie begins.
I thought it was just showing people interacting back after the change.
No, this was before the change. Remember?
Before the change.
So it went.
You're
the
intriguing me,
beginning-
Joey.
He was there.
It's 3 hours.
Okay, so at the very, very beginning of the movie, before it says Avengers Endgame, blah blah blah, and the big Marvel symbol, it goes to kind of like a pre-thing where it goes back to the last movie before Thanos snaps his fingers. So you see Hawkeye with his family. Remember that?
Oh, you mean the
Right. Before.
how it was before.
That was the very,
Oh,
very
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of the
yeah.
movie. Right? And then and I thought that was so nice and everything, and you see the family, and then all of a sudden I thought something happened to the child. I thought all of a sudden
She went
die?
missing?
Did it drown? Yeah, right? Because
It's like
disappeared.
an abduction or something.
Right, but at that point, that's when Thanos snapped his fingers. That's when I clued in. Oh my God, that's when he snapped his fingers. And then he looks,
And then
and the rest of his family's missing. And then he starts getting mad to the point he understands why. He figures out why. He goes on a rampage, right? And then they have to catch him.
Put it in perspective to show what really happened when he snapped that finger, and then 50% of people disappeared.
Not just 50% of people on Earth. 50% of people, not just people,
Everywhere,
all living
the
creatures
whole
in the universe.
In the universe.
Yeah, that was the crazy thing about it. And Thanos, when you saw him on his planet, was hurt. Right? So he's not the almighty Thanos that we all thought.
So will this be, Joey, the highest grossing movie of all time?
You give this movie the same amount of time as Avatar, the same amount of time as Titanic. I think it could. I think it has a possibility of beating that, because the only reason that Titanic and Avatar are the top 1 and 2 movies in the 2 billion areas is because they did a re-release like 10 years later. So if they do a re-release of this special edition,
To say it will be the
It could
highest
actually.
grossing movie of all time, we always think this. Like every time there's a movie that breaks the record,
and then it drops.
and then
It just
another
stops.
movie like this comes down the road a year later and does it. And that's probably because there's more markets nowadays. China's coming with grossing now. India, all these countries in the world are having more people, more movies on their phones. They're watching. So going forward, if we said today, I would say yes. But
it's hard to say
going
what
forward,
movie can actually
it's
beat
something
this.
else will probably beat it. All it takes is a great weekend, and it's because this weekend, 5 days, it got to 1.2.
I can't see another thing
Beating
this.
it?
No, only because there's
Come
been
on.
22 movies leading up to this. there's been a huge
But this
build
one
up to
is
this.
the highest grossing weekend
Well,
for
we
any
even
movie
thought
in all time.
We even thought that Harry Potter's were going to be all the way up there, but
Well,
no, they're not.
Number one, still on Box Office Mojo. Number one, you check that list, check it out.
Avatar.
Number one, Avatar, 2.788 billion, still is the king. And right
That's
now,
with re-releases.
Endgame is number 17 on the list at $1.223.6 billion.
Wow, he really gets technical, doesn't he?
These are fun facts. I love fun facts. And the also crazy thing was in China, highest grossing opening, $330.5 million in China. And Joy was talking about, we were chatting, Pikachu might beat it. Who knows?
I think Pikachu.
But for
opened
the
it, but-
opening, it's Endgame. And that's a big amount. So that's why Endgame grossed $866.5 million overseas and then domestic to give it the biggest debut of all time. So right now, Endgame, you are the king.
Well, just look at what's the population of China.
A lot.
It is a lot, right? They've got over.
If everybody watched a movie in China,
2 billion
it would
people?
beat Endgame.
Oh, absolutely. Do they have like 2 billion something?
1.5
Oh,
billion.
and is it India that has like 2 billion?
1.3 and change.
No, I thought it was
billion.
more than that. Well,
China's still ahead. But
well, regardless,
India, China,
even if half of those people
Watch
go to
movies.
see
They love
it,
movies
no,
over there.
If half of those people go to see it, think about how much a ticket is. That is gonna be
just think.
huge, and that's just China.
Okay, today is Monday, April 29th. It's only been a few days since opening weekend.
Yeah,
So
Friday,
technically, a
Saturday,
lot of
Sunday.
countries in the world are
4 days.
staggered.
4 days.
They haven't even seen the movie debut yet. A lot of them haven't even been shipped the film yet, for crying out loud. Who knows?
Actually, that's where I think we're actually the last ones to get it.
Really?
Where China and Europe are the first ones to get it. That's why you always see those cam views on computers and stuff like that. They always get it first before us, and it's so weird that they do because they build up the hype and everything else. They test it out there. They test the market out, how to market it here in North America and stuff like that. They don't even include Australia and stuff, and they get the movies before we do too.
So before we get to final thoughts on the movie, because there was something I wanted to talk about,
Okay.
we're going to go back to what you were talking about,
Which was?
what to expect now going forward with Avengers. Is there going to be something else? Because according to The Independent, I was on the website, and there was an author, Clarice Lowry. It had 8 different revelations. Revelations! 8 of them. And I'm going to talk about them real quick. Joy's going to just say yay or nay or go crazy when I say something. But
Alright.
this movie obviously marks the end of an era called the Infinity Saga. So what now? There could be a new leader. And we were saying it could be Captain Marvel to lead a new chapter.
Yeah, it's possible, but there's still Shield. I mean,
Okay.
you still have Shield, but yeah, Captain Marvel could, yeah.
Now
Because who do you think is the most powerful Avenger?
Captain Marvel.
I think so too. I think Captain Marvel is.
I thought it was Thor.
Well, no, she blows
Because
Thor
he
away.
blew some wicked stuff out of his butt.
Well, and then what surprised a lot of people
Remember when
was
he-
Captain America being able to pick
Well-
up Thor's hammer. He almost did it in the last one too, and he knew.
Yeah, but
Thor
they-
knew that he had.
They
special...
don't. Thor and Captain Marvel have those beyond powers.
No. Thor and Captain America.
I don't know about Captain America.
Captain America.
He's just like a superhuman.
Right. I don't
The
think she's
other
still could.
revelation,
She's not
number
worthy.
2, diversion timeline.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because the timeline's been changing a lot.
Yeah,
And-
the only reason I don't believe that is because a lot of the actors aren't coming back.
Okay. A young Avengers. Because there's like Spider-Man, he's kind of young. And maybe there's
Yeah,
up-and-coming
Tom-
ones.
yeah, Tom
maybe those
Holland.
are storylines with new characters.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him as the new Spider-Man. I think he's great as the new Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man comes out this summer too. I can't wait to see that one too.
New Asgard. That could be an alternate path.
Yeah, I
For a
think they're
movie.
still looking for Asgard right now because
That could be a journey.
the Asgardians are living on Earth.
So who's leading the new people for Thor's people?
Thor handed that off
To?
to the Valkyrie.
Okay. Thor joins the Guardians of the Galaxy. That could be an alternate.
He
'Cause
did
he
leave.
did-
He did leave with them
He left with the Guardians.
because he had nothing left on Earth though.
He ran out of video games.
Well, no. His excuse was that he broke up with his girlfriend. So he had
broke
nothing
up
else.
with his girlfriend.
With
Oh my God.
Natalie Portman. So he breaks up with her. So he has nothing else to
I'm
do
good.
here. So he
I'm free.
leaves,
Let's go.
right? So he leaves. So that's a good thing.
The next Hawkeye.
That's a possibility. I could see the next Hawkeye because Hawkeye's daughter is really good with the bow and arrow. So I could see her maybe being the next Hawkeye.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Possibility. They were saying that was in
Is there one
pre-production.
In the
However, they haven't secured like Chris Pratt. They haven't secured.
It won't go if they don't have these people.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do because they haven't secured the actors.
I
and
know
a lot
Crude's
of the actors don't want to do what?
Crude.
Who's Crude?
The
Groot.
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 Groot. Why did I say crude?
I don't know, man.
Groot. So
I
they have
am Groot.
So they have Groot. They can
I am
change
Groot.
Groot.
I am Groot.
Yeah, he said something funny in the movie. Remember?
I am Groot. What'd you say? Oh, hey, no, watch your language. I am Groot. All he says is,
so
"I'm
it would be
Groot."
the same without those guys.
Vin Diesel, he's got a real tough part in this. I was saying, I am Groot. But they'll obviously keep Rocket and Groot. And now Zoe, she's back, right? She came back. We all knew that was going to happen. Everybody knew that was going to happen. Is Dave Bautista going to come back? I don't know. He's got a funny movie coming out this summer too. I don't know what's going to really happen.
You want a number 3.
I would love to see a number 3, and I would love to see the actors come back, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And finally, from the article, 5-year gap.
Yeah,
That's another
I
diversion.
don't know if that can actually happen, but I guess it could happen. Like maybe they're talking about what happened in the 5 years that they were gone.
Well, like
Or-
Spider-Man, he's going to high school, and now he's 5 years older. Everyone's in college now.
No, he's not.
Well, according to the 5-year gap.
No, he's not.
What happened then?
He comes back to the same time that he left.
Well, hey. don't
But
make this
5
up.
years have gone. No. But no, when Thanos snapped his fingers,
Yeah.
it took 5 years.
But I guess
of
this 5-year gap is
present
maybe it's a timeline thing. I don't know.
It could be a timeline thing because
Like
when
what
Thanos
happened in those
snapped
5
his
years.
fingers, everybody vanished for 5 years of the present time that he snapped his fingers. The people who didn't vanish, they're actually 5 years older than everybody else that had vanished because it's reversed.
Well, you know what? I wanted to. I'd be curious to see when those 5 years was happening. What happened like days after the snap, and how did people cope? And was it an apocalypse? Was there crime? Was there any other people who came and the Avengers did some superhero stuff to help the day?
Well,
or
we
they
know-
just sit around and do nothing? I want to know that.
Well, we know what happened with Tony Stark. He was stuck
Yeah.
on the planet, right?
But
He
what's
was stuck
happening
on the
with everybody
planet
else
with
on Earth?
Nebula, Thanos' daughter, Nebula, the blue alien chick. They were stuck inside the spaceship, and they were drifting in space because they had no more fuel. Now they had only air left for
Wow.
whatever, and they spent a lot of their time trying to get back to Earth. So there went apparently 3 to.
It's all
4 years.
confusing.
So it is. You know what? Everybody can make up their own thoughts of what happened
Yeah, for
during
sure.
those 5 years. And if they do that, which
So-
could be interesting, every director could do it completely so differently.
But you know what? At the end of it, biggest gross of all time opening, people.
That's all he thinks about. Biggest gross. I loved it. I myself, I didn't care if it was a little bit slower.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It almost made you feel more emotional for this film. Like you felt their pain, you felt their hurt, you felt
Yeah,
that,
you felt it all.
the anger. And I thought it was if an actor can actually make you feel that way, they're doing their job amazing. People.
So final thoughts on the movie, of how it ended and how it made you feel. I thought that this movie basically ended by treating the cast and everybody with a tribute. And it was even the credits at the end. They how they sequenced each actor and showed them. Just the ending alone was emotional, and it was like nostalgic in a way. And I won't say anything more about it, but I felt good at the movie at the end. even though the whole movie, it took some time getting to the points and everything.
Well,
but
we can say
the final
one thing.
thought was
We can say
fun.
one thing, which a lot of people knew was going to happen, which I knew, but I didn't know who it was going to be, and we won't reveal that. But we knew that there was going to be a new Captain America. Everybody knew that. There was going to.
I didn't know that.
Well, he didn't know that, but we all knew that that was going to happen because that had happened in the comics books, and they had to go by that. But
Yeah.
they did change it to a different person that we had no clue who was going
The
to be.
baton was passed,
Right.
and it wasn't
But
a baton; it was
that
a
was
shield.
the very end of the movie. It wasn't the other part where I think that you think it was the funeral.
No, I'm talking about the.
Oh, you
the
are.
final thought
Okay,
was
so-
how they ended it.
Because
It
the
was
funeral
classy.
was very classy too.
and
though. Come on, the
It
funeral.
had that Captain America at the end, and it just. Like, we
I-
can't talk anything about it, right?
No,
we don't want to spoil anything.
No, I know. I don't want.
You
say
have to
who
see
is.
it, people.
Right. And I think a lot of people will be really shocked who the next.
And you
Captain
probably
America
will
is.
have to see this movie again, like Joey, like 5
yeah.
or 6 times. You want to see that again? I'll watch it.
Absolutely, I'll go see that a million
He
times.
still wants to
but
see Infinity Wars like every time he's over.
I love it. I love it. And but you know, I also thought was really classy was the funeral, the way that they did it. Everybody respected who passed away. I'm not gonna say who. We know that there was a few.
Everyone wants to know it.
We know there is a
You got
few
1 in
people.
5 chances to know what happened.
There's a few people that did pass away, and I think that they might have picked one wrong person, but hey, it is what it is.
You know what's cool at the end of the movie, Joey?
What's that?
People clapped. And that tells you
But they clapped
they
during the middle of
loved
the movie.
and they appreciated that experience, and you got the clap. I'm seeing it more and more. Keep it up, everybody, clapping.
But they clapped also during the movie too. For we'll say, well, I know at 2 parts they clapped. One was we'll just say Captain America did something, and they all clapped. Remember that?
I don't really remember that one. I just remember the end clap.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a
brilliant.
great movie.
It was brilliant.
Brilliant movie.
I loved it.
And we're happy.
I give it 10
The
thumbs
end
up.
of an era has happened, and it was going to come because what you were saying, not all these people are going to get cast again.
No.
And they're getting older too. You can't keep moving it along. You can only stretch a story so long.
Well, now with new technology, you can see how they do make people look young
like
again,
Michael
right?
Douglas.
Michael Douglas. They made him look really young at one point too.
That's
You know,
crazy.
it was really neat, right? It was
Yeah.
awesome how they do it, and now they have the technology to do that. So it doesn't really matter how old you really are. They can make you look as young as you want to be.
Well, thank you for watching. We could go on for so much longer with this, but hey, what are we going to do?
I'm just gonna say thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Marvel, for 22 awesome movies, and I hope you guys give us a couple more. I know there's still well, Sony is giving us still Spider-Man coming this summer. You know, so that's gonna be awesome. But I hope we get a couple more movies. I hope we get another Captain Marvel movie.
Well, thank you for following us. Joey and Cheeks here. And we're going to be doing lots more of this. We love it. And as I said, we could go on for hours.
We can.
Right? But you're not going to watch hours probably
No.
of us.
And we'll probably
You're probably
cut
already
this down to-
bored because we talk too long. But
Yeah.
it's okay.
Thank you, Marvel, for everything you've given us. I loved it. You just entertained my life a lot. I give the final movie 10 thumbs up.
10 thumbs up.
10 thumbs up. It's a 100% for me.
Well, I'll follow Joey's because of one thing. It ended an era. And they did a great job to end it. So 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. So none of this 96, 97, 98%.
Let's
Give
just say it was a
100%.
great movie, and
It was
go watch
good.
it.
It was 100%, and that's it. So anyways, that being said, I'm Joey Lale Jr.,
And I'm Cheeks.
and we'll come back to you soon with
There's
another
movies all the
review.
time. There's
Yeah.
lots to talk about, people. So check back with us, comment, like, and subscribe, and follow us here.
Right. And can't wait for December's new Star Wars.
Oh, we love Star Wars.
That's going to be awesome.
The highest grossing opening ever.